yes, and then I like quickly beeline back to my car because I was so nervous. And then I get back in the car
And
and I
I'm
was
kind of
like,
glad she
yeah.
did. I'm kind of glad she did.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Weeks Watch. You're watching the Weeks. We wanted to do something different or something fun. An idea we had was to put some conversation topics in a cup and draw at random. So we put three in there. Uh, we could either talk about how we met, our transition from one to two kids, or our testimony around getting this house. So we'll see what comes out. Okay. Which one is it? And also, there's been no prep for this, so. Okay. How we met. That's a good one.
And so different in terms of our perspectives.
Oh, yes. So, that's a good point. So, because I was just gonna, I don't know why I was thinking like to say like how we met is like how we started dating. Because that's what I would think to talk about. But since you say that, I'm like, So, what I remember is I had a good friend, the church we used to go to,
Mm-hmm.
a really good friend took me there. And she was introducing me to some of the other young adults at the church. And I remember meeting Will. She introduced me to him. There was like a whole conversation. And I was just kind of standing there kind of awkwardly. And I think you were saying some stuff about how like you just wanted to adopt a kid. You
Yeah,
didn't even want to get married.
I was so crazy. So I was leading a young adults ministry at that church, and it was so that'll be a whole different story for a whole different video. But I had this idea in my head that I wanted to be a dad, but didn't want to be married. So we had some kind of like weird conversation about adoption as single people.
Yeah.
So it
and
was
the other friend. And I was just kind of standing there. Which, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with adopting and being single. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just seemed like such a random conversation to kind of come in on. And the fact
and
that
I was, mind you,
23, 24.
So 23 or 24.
Yeah.
So
So I was like, oh.
it's interesting.
Like, what? I feel like it's like kind of that thing that, like, you know, like the stereotype that Christians get married young. So then, like, by the time you're in your mid 20s, you're like, oh, I don't know if God's ever going to give me somebody, which is like a load of.
And I was already in that mindset. Like, I thought to myself, like, I was going to be alone, but I wanted to be a dad.
Yeah, right. So it's like,
Hence the conversation.
Yeah, anyway, I was there. Will doesn't remember that at all, but I remember hearing that. And so he wasn't even on my radar because I heard that conversation and was like, oh, okay, I guess this guy is just not even interested in dating. But then after that, I came back a couple more times and we would be in the same, you know, the group setting. And I always thought you were funny.
Yeah, because there was a while where she took, after we first initially met, she didn't come back to the church for a while.
Wow.
And
Just kidding.
but it was one of the lines that I used to kind of bring her back in, because when she did come back, I was like, hey, there you are. I was about to put a missing persons report out for you. And so she thought that was comical.
I did. I liked how I thought that was very blunt, and I kind of liked how direct that was. So
yeah,
that was.
And then, let's see, we had our young adults ministry.
Yeah, that's basically how we met.
Yeah, that was.
I came to the young adults group.
Yeah.
When you were leading it, like if we were to like put a bow on the story and wrap it up, but these are like little details. And then, I feel like when you talk about how we met, it kind of like morphs into like how we started liking each other and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we went on this one young adults thing. It was bowling. And it was like the duck pin bowling. And I think I just noticed that I had just really been drawn to his personality. I don't think I liked him yet, but I was drawn to his personality because I was like, oh, I want to be on your team. Like, I want to be with you.
Yeah, she
and I
wanted to
just
bowl
said
with
that
me.
straight up, but I wasn't trying to say it as a way to flirt. I just was drawn to his personality. And I remember you being like, oh, you want to be on my team? Oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, like, what's the big deal? Meanwhile, I guess it's definitely putting those feelers out. So I feel like after that, it started kind of turning.
Yeah.
We definitely have to bring up Emily.
Yeah, we had one of the staff
We can
members
say
at
her
the
name.
church.
She wouldn't care.
She was like our operations manager, and she
Hey, Emily.
was a good friend of ours. And during that time, like, I would go over to her house once a week to watch crazy reality shows on Bravo, like Below Deck and Vanderpump Rules and all that kind of stuff, while I was grading students' papers as a teacher. And she kept asking me about, like, you know, if I liked anybody in the church, or, like, you know, we would have kind of those conversations. And I remember that Kristyn was brought up, and I was like, yeah, I think Kristyn is, like, really cute at the church. And so Emily decided to play a little matchmaker, right? And so she knew that I liked Kristyn, and then we had like a group outing.
Yeah, that's a big story.
A group outing for like a brunch in Baltimore for Memorial Day, which is like a huge deal in Baltimore. All the places are
Fells Point, right?
In Fells Point,
yeah.
All the places are brunched out, and all everyone that's like college age young adults are like out in the city for like the whole day. And I mean, yes, there's a lot of like day drinking and stuff, but that wasn't, you know. So we went out to brunch with our young adults group, and definitely making a lot of conversation with Kristyn. And there was this someone, I think it was Emily, she actually asked the question to the group, being like, describe what's your type. And I'm at the end of the table, and Kristyn's like at the other end, and Kristyn starts going like, tall, beard, funny, and like our friend Jovi and our friend Blake like looked like right at me like, oh, she's describing you. And I was at the table like, oh, she's describing me.
No Blake. I don't think Blake was there.
He was definitely there.
Oh, okay, my bad.
So then afterwards, after that brunch day, you know, I was like intentionally, at the eating, we were walking around, I tried to like talk to Kristyn and be close to Kristyn. And then afterwards, our friend Emily did her matchmaking stuff, and I don't know how you guys talked about it. Either she texted you or...
she texted both of us. Right. And didn't let the other one know that she was texting.
Right. And so she was texting you, and I get this random text. I want to say it was like June 6th.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And she
2016.
She sends me this text. It says, Kristyn is a go, with like 40 hearts.
Because before that, she texted me, and I remember she was asking me about you, and if I was interested, and I was saying that I was, kind of confirming it and joking about the brunch that we had. But I was like, you know, don't tell Will. And she was like, okay. Because she knew that he was also interested.
Yeah.
Because she probably wouldn't have said anything if it was only one of us that was interested. It was both of us. So she was like, all right, matching them up. Mm-hmm. And so then once Emily messaged you that I was a go, I feel like it was that Thursday
Thursday Young Adults, I asked her out on a date, which was a whole different shade of awkward as well. Not for her, but for me. So Kristyn definitely was like positioning herself, playing her cards right, you might say, to be approached by me. And I was just such a weenie and had like no confidence. So,
yeah, I feel like, what does that mean? So I think what you're talking about is I kind of felt like you were interested.
Yes.
So, because there was also something where you had around the time Emily put everything together, there was a time where you had asked me to go to the movies with just you.
Oh, yes.
You with just you, Lauren Jovi. Lauren Jovi are married, So if it was just me, Will, Laura, and Jovi, then it was definitely a double date.
Right.
And he asked me, I couldn't go, but when you asked me that was right before Memorial Day. So timeline, we hung out because I'm like trying to wrap this up because I know we're not wrap it up, but kind of like simplify for you guys because I feel like it's a lot of pieces. So we meet at young adults. We hang out kind of several times in that situation. I feel like we get to know each other's personalities and start to kind of be attracted to one another. We go out for brunch on Memorial Day. But the day before, because Memorial Day is a Monday, the day before we were at church on a Sunday, Will had said like, oh, do you want to go to the movies with us? And I'm like, who's us? And he's like, me, Laura, and Jovi. That's a double date. So once that happened, I was like, oh, he's interested in me. So once I had that nugget on Memorial Day, I made sure to dress really cute. And then I made sure that, which I tried to do anyway, but I was like, tried to play it up a bit. And then on Memorial Day, when Emily asked what's your type, I definitely tried to make sure it sounded like it could fit Will's description, which it did. So then after that, that's when Emily's texting both of us, trying to put it in the other person's ear. Then that week, that Thursday, is when Will actually asked me out on a date. Right, okay. And I remember kind of trying to give him the opportunity to ask me. That's what you're talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I, at the end of our young adult session, like we usually did like young adult Bible study, and then we would do dinner. But for some reason, I don't think we had dinner that time.
We didn't do it that time.
For some reason, there wasn't. So after everybody else had left, I pretended I had to go to the bathroom, and then so I could walk out slowly as Will was like cleaning up and getting ready to leave. So then it was just us two walking towards our cars.
Yeah.
And I think I actually parked near you two on purpose, or you parked near me.
We were parked near each other.
So we could walk out to our cars around the same time. So I had a feeling that you were going to ask me.
Yeah. Just
from all of that. And then, we did.
And that's that.
Yeah. He was like, would you want to go out sometime? And I was like, yes. And then I like quickly beeline back to my car because I was so nervous. And then I get back in the car.
And I'm kind of glad she did. I'm kind of glad she did beeline it because I didn't have a follow up. And then of course we texted to arrange it later. But I was like, oh, it kind of saved me actually because I would have just been like, okay, and then I would have
I think we were both nervous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good one to start with actually.
Yeah, it was. And it wasn't planned. There's still other topics in here.
So if you're still here at the end of this video, thank you for watching and hearing our story. And we can't wait to talk to you guys more and let you guys know more about us. I hope this was like a little insight into the Weeks family.
I feel like you should have a band around you that's like storyteller and just like sporadic storyteller underneath. That way, I feel like it's like people can fast forward and be like, oh wait, Kristyn, I mean, she's a storyteller, but just skip all of Will's stuff.
No, it all works together. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next time on
Weeks Watch.